जय गोपी जनावल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Nita Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Evam Vishnupada Paramam Saparivrajakachaри Ashtotar Shata Srimati Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Evam Vishnupada Paramam Saparivrajakachaри Ashtotar Shata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brunda Ki Jai. Namacharya Snaidas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन धाम की जय. ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय. मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगा में यमुना में की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. The most merciful Lord Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. The most merciful Lord Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. The most merciful Lord Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayesa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 22, text number 24, the entitled Prithamara's meeting with the four Kumaras. Sri Sri Gaunitai ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki jai. Ahimsaya paramamam sacharyaya Ahimsa paramaham sacharyaya Smrutya mukunda charitagraseduna Smrutya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamera kame niyamaischapya nindaya Yamera kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ahimsaya paramahamsya charyaya Smrutya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamera kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ahimsaya paramahamsa charyaya Smrutya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamera kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ahimsaya paramahamsa charyaya Muktya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamaira kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ahimsaya paramamam sacharyaya Da mukunda parichagraseduna Yamaira kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ahimsaya paramam sacharyaya Smrutya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamaira kame niyamaischapya nindaya Nirihaya dvandati tikshaya cha Ramam sacharyaya Smritya mukunda charitagraseduna Yamaira kame niyamaischapya nindaya Word to word meaning Ahimsaya by non-violence Paramamsya charyaya by following the footsteps of great acharyas Smritya by remembering Mukunda the supreme personality of the Godhead Acharita agriya simply preaching his activities Seduna by the nectar Yamai by following regulative principles Akamai without material desire Niyamai by strictly following the rules and regulations. Cha also, api certainly, anindaya without blaspheming, nirihayam living simply, plain living, dvandva duality, titikshaya by tolerance, cha and translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: a candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, must follow, remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposite elements. He should learn to tolerate them. Please repeat after me. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements. He should learn to tolerate them. Purport: the devotees are actually saintly persons or sadhus. The first qualification of a sadhu or devotee is ahimsa or non-violent. Persons interested in the path of devotion service or in going back to home, back to Godhead, must practice ahimsa or non-violence. A sadhu is described as titikshava karunika. A devotee should be tolerant and should be very much compassionate towards others. For example, if he suffers personal injury, he should tolerate it. But if someone else suffers injury, the devotee need not tolerate it. The whole world is full of violence, and the devotee's first business is to stop this violence, including the unnecessary slaughter of animals. A devotee is a friend not only of human society but of all living entities, for he sees all living entities as sons of the Supreme Person of the Godhead. He doesn't claim himself to be the only Son of God and allow all others to be killed, thinking that they have no soul. This kind of philosophy is never advocated by the pure devotee of the Lord. Suvruda Sarvadehinam. A true devotee is the A true devotee is a friend of all living entities. Krishna claims in Bhagavad Gita to be the father of all species of living entities. Consequently, the devotee of Krishna is always a friend of all. This is called Ahimsa. Such non-violence can be practiced only when we follow in the footsteps of great acharyas. Therefore, according to our Vaishnava philosophy, we have to follow the great acharyas of the four sampradayas or disciplic succession. Trying to advance in spiritual life outside the disciplic succession is simply ludicrous. It is said, therefore, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One who follows the disciplic succession of Acharya knows things as they are. Tadvijnardam Saguram Evapi Gachyat. In order to understand the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master. The word Smritya is very important in spiritual life. Smritya means remembering Krishna always. Life should be molded in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. We should live in Krishna so that while eating, sleeping, walking, and working, we remain only in Krishna. Our Krishna Consciousness Society recommends that we arrange our living so that we can remember in Krishna. In our ISKCON Society, the devotees, while engaged in making spiritual sky incense, are also hearing about the glories of Krishna or his devotees. The Shastra recommended Smartavya Satatam Vishnu. Lord Vishnu should be remembered always, constantly. Vismardya Najatachid. Vishnu should never be forgotten. That is the spiritual way of life. Smritya, this remembrance of the Lord can be continued if we hear about Him constantly. It is therefore recommended in the verse Mukunda Charitagra Siduna. Sidhu means nectar. To hear about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or similar authentic literatures is to live in Krishna consciousness. Such concentration in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by persons who are strictly following the rules and regulations principles. We have recommended in our Krishna consciousness movement that a devotee chant 16 rounds on beats daily and follow the regulative principles. That will help the devotee to fix it in his spiritual advancement in life. It is also stated in this verse that one can advance by controlling the senses. Am By controlling the senses, one can become a Swami or Goswami. One who is therefore enjoying this super title Swami Goswami must be very strictly in controlling his senses. Indeed, he must be master of his senses. This is the possible when one doesn't desire any material sense gratification. If by chance the senses want to work independently, he must control them. If you simply practice avoiding material sense gratification, controlling the senses is automatically achieved. Another important point mentioned in this connection is anindaya. We should not criticize others' methods of religion. There are different types of religious system operating under the different qualities of material nature. Those operating in the modes of ignorance and passion cannot be perfect as that system in the mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into three qualities divisions. Therefore, religious systems are similarly categorized. When people are mostly under the modes of fashion and ignorance, their system of religion will be the same quality. A devotee, instead of criticizing such system, will encourage the following to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of religion in goodness. Simply by criticizing them, a devotee mind will be agitated. Thus a devotee should tolerate and learn to stop agitation. Another feature of a devotee is niriyaya. Simply living. Niriya means gentle, meek, or simple. A devotee should not live very gorgeously and imitate a materialistic person. Plain living and high thinking are recommended for a devotee. He should accept only so much as he needs to keep the material body fit for the execution of devotion service. He should not eat to he should not eat or sleep more than is required. Simply eating for living and not living for eating and sleeping only 6 or to 7 hours a day are principles to be followed by the devotees. As long as the body is there, it is subjected to the influence of climatic changes, diseases, and natural disturbances. The threefold measures of material existence, we cannot avoid them. Sometimes we receive letters from neophyte devotees questioning why they have fallen sick. Although pursuing Krishna consciousness, they should learn from this verse that they have become tolerant. Dvandva titikshaya. This is the word of a duality. One should not think that because he has fallen sick, he has fallen from Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness can be continued without impediment from any material position. Lord Krishna therefore advises in Bhagavad Gita, Tam Stitikchasva Bharata. My dear Arjuna, please try to tolerate all these disturbances. Be fixed in your Krishna consciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmaya Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamyaham Dadati Swapadandikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhebhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are Poor Kumar is speaking, how to one advance in spiritual life. That is the beginning verses, before verses, how to increase our attachment to Krishna. So they given instruction that how to, one should follow, one should accept a spiritual master and follow whatever he gives instructions, and should give up this material association and take the spiritual association. By that one can, and one should hear constantly from the spiritual master. By that one can slowly increase their attachment to the Krishna. The same thing here also, this a candidate for spiritual advancement, their qualities is given here. How can we check our advancement, the spiritual advancement? So Prabhupada is telling here actually. So one must be non-violent. He used in must follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personal Godhead. He is used must means why? Must means it is there is no any uh, compromise that means unless we develop these qualities, we cannot advance in spiritual life. Spiritual life is not simply just chanting Hare Krishna mantra and follow four regulatory. By this, we have to develop qualities also. The how to develop qualities that Poor Kumar is explaining here. Prabhupada in every everyone everything actually is given the qualities here. One must follow the in the footsteps of great acharyas. Must be he should be non-violent. Non-violent ahimsa. That's Prabhupada is telling that a saintly person is called a sadhu. The sadhu have a qualities. What is that qualities? That ornaments is given. Krishna, Titikshava, Karunika, Suruda, Sarvadehinam, Ajata Satru, Shantaha, Sadhava, Sadhubhushanam. This is the ornaments of a devotee. Means to develop these qualities. Because by that qualities he can be called a sadhu. Sadhu doesn't mean just uh, means his dressed or his speeches. If you think like that, Gandhiji also started non-violent movement, no? So how can you call it sadhu? Because Prabhupada is telling here. We are telling actually that persons interested in the pure devotion service are going back to and back to God must practice ahimsa. That doesn't mean he's Gandhiji also started non-violence movement. He is called sadhu because he started the non-violence movement for the country, not for that to back to home, back to Godhead. So Prabhupada is mentioning that the persons one who want to go back home, back to Godhead, he must practice ahimsa, non-violence. So a devotee also should be tolerant because is the first quality is that he has to tolerate for the compassionate others. So whenever Prabhupada is speaking this ahimsa, is speaking that how that we have to killing others animals because we don't have any compassion for the material nature. Because the sadhu sees all the living entity is the son of God. So he will not kill others. Rather, he is thinking that Prabhupada, you are telling actually, a devotee uh, he should tolerate, but if someone else suffers his injury, if he suffers personally, he will not think much. But somebody is suffering, he cannot tolerate. That is a Vaishnava means is paradukha dukhi. Same thing. The sadhu is by seeing others suffering, he cannot be tolerant. He want to do something. He want to help others. That is a quality of a sadhu. Mm. So you can see so many examples are there. That is one example. Just I am thinking that there is a Ramanjacharya disciple, the Kuresa. When Saivat is the king, he plucked the eyes. So Ramanjacharya told to Kuresha, go and pray for the Vardara Swami to give your eyes. So he went and is praying the Vardara Swami. So what is he praying? He is praying, my dear Lord, please send the Vaikunta those that person has removed my eyes. So he came back and told Ramanjacharya, what happened? You didn't ask to Bhadra Swami? I asked to those who were plucked my ashes, so he went to back to home, back to God. I pray for the Lord. So Vardhaswami told Kuresh, what is that? I am already making plan to send hell, and you are praying for to send Vaikunta. What is this? So you can understand what means. Prabhupada is give example of for his own suffering, he will not think much, but for others' suffering, even though they are not intended to plug the ice, but because the order of the king, they did. But Kuresa is thinking that no, because of my offenses, that way my eyes removed. It's not that they did me something. So this is a wonderful qualities of a sadhu. Means there is so many examples are there. Haridas Thakur also praying while those who are um, beating that in 22 market. For them, he prayed for that. So because is if you not compassion to others, there is no hope for the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul anyhow is suffering in this material world. So what is the hope? The hope, only hope is this sadhu has to compassion. So you see that many things means titikshava karunika and suvrudha sarvadini is the friend of all the living entities. Like Krishna is claiming that no, he is the father of all the living entities. Why? So that there is no other shelter per living entities they can come to. So similarly, even sadhu also is actually is a friend of all the living entities. He never harm anybody actually. Even though people harm like Arjuna, the Pandavas, they are so much that Duryodhana is actually giving so many troubles. They want to kill. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna, they never thought against about the Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra. Never thought actually. They are always thinking about Krishna. Krishna is there to protect us. How many ways has Duryodhana want to kill the Pandavas, but still they are tolerating. So that we can see that Dhritarashtra want to kill the Pandavas, but that Arjuna and Yudhishthira are thinking, no, we should not do against them anything. So So by that we can understand means if there is no compassion, first of all we have to compassion of others, because we don't have any compassion for our soul, then how can we show compassion others? Yeah, of course, that is everybody suffering. Without Krishna consciousness, there is no mm, um, um, life. But we should practice at the same time. We should give others. We should give Krishna consciousness to others. That is what we can protect the soul. There is no other way. So unless we don't have compassion, we cannot give others. So, but Acharyas is this, they sets example and they give others. If you sadhu, he has every living entity is a friend. It doesn't have an enemies. But unfortunate situation in Kali Yuga, even sadhu also has enemies. It's not that he is enemies, but others enemies. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he speaks very strong in Krishna consciousness, but somebody, the Brahmanis, they don't want to him, though they want to kill Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So there is general in Kali Yuga, it is like that actually. Even Prabhupada he actually explained in the Nectar of Instructions, unfortunately my God brothers are so envious to me actually. So they don't want to be spread in Krishna consciousness, even though I am doing same to please my spiritual master, but still there are so much envious people are there in surrounding me. So these things generally it is there, but because when you pure things are there, when you speak truth, people become enemies. So that's why speaking is very uh, it is very difficult. If you speak, no persons will become enemy, because that doesn't want it. Means so much rebellious is there, and even people are rebellious to God also, because God want to protect in all the ways. He is protecting, even though we are invasive, we are the rebellious. Krishna is protecting the same way. Sadhu is protecting. Sadhu want to protect, but the thing is that actually we are so rebellious. We don't want to mm, give up our sense gratification. So we want to criticize and we become envy. We want to kill the sadhus. So Prabhupada is explaining that is what means. The kind of philosophy is never advocated. Means people think no, there is no soul but the animals, so we can kill. But Vaishnava philosophy is opposite. No, but the soul is there. It is saying the Son of God, every living and the Son of God actually. So they have we could not kill the animals. So that is one thing actually, and must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas. One who want to become non-violent, ahimsa, he must follow the acharyas. Without following the acharyas, he cannot become a actually ahimsa. And must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So means unless we remembering Krishna, unless we remembering that acharyas is how they actually they so much confess to others, and they are want to deliver this fallen souls, then simply then we cannot give others. That is a Prabhupada is telling. We should must follow the footsteps of acharyas, and we should follow the um, regulative principles. Means regulative principles will come to the mode of goodness. So people are so fascinated in ignorance, actually they are not able to understand that I am suffering. So by that, actually by following the four regulative principles, one come to the mode of goodness. By goodness one will understand, oh really I am suffering in this material world. That Prabhupada is telling, that's what means. One should one should come to the mode of goodness by following the four regulative principles. So So, Prabhupada telling Tadvijnanam Saguram to in order to understand the transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. So, without approaching the bona fide spiritual master and appreciating the bona fide spiritual master, then our life is actually go to a different direction. Means we will only incurred in the sinful activities. So by accepting the bona fide spiritual master, by and accepting and executing the orders of his spiritual master, will what will happen? Our simple activities will go on, and we will slowly will understand what is our goal of life. And not only that, I should constantly hearing from the spiritual master. So that hearing, what will happen? No, that our conception will change. What we have already the different misconceptions we have in our life and the goal of human life. So that all the misconception will change by hearing regularly from the spiritual master. So here you're telling, that's what why spiritual master. What is the real service we can do? That real service we can do the spiritual master. We should hear regularly. So by this regularly hearing from the spiritual master, we can change our conception, and we can slowly we can progress in our spiritual life. So that is what, and must follow the four regulations without any material desire. Prabhupada is telling, while following regulatory principles, you should not have a material desire. What is that material desire? Once you accept the spiritual path, you should give up the material association. This is very means opposite means even though we are practicing, but if you take the material association, there is a chance of falling down, because we are not nitya siddha, we are practicing devotees, so we have to be very careful to avoid the material association. Otherwise, there is fooling, because we have already material desires is there in our heart, so it may be go vain again. So that's what the most we have to be in the spiritual association. Means spiritual association means not that discussing with something else other than Krishna Katha. Even the association, people sometimes discuss about politics, all these things. So that is not good. Association means we should discuss always in Krishna Katha and glorifying the spiritual master and glorifying the Shastras. That is how we should be in the association of a devotees. So the more we should give up that material association, the more we can association with the spiritual devotees, so that we slowly we can give up all this material junk. So Prabhupada is telling that is very important. Means one should not, without any material desire, we should follow the four regulatory principles. Means that is means the four regulatory principles is simple activities. So the opposite is that is compassion, and it should be very clean. It should be punctuality. They should be the pillars of dharma. Daya, tapas, saucham. So it should be very punctuality in our life and regulated our life, that then we can actually slowly one will we can follow the four regulatory principles very easily. And while following the regulatory principles, again Prabhupada should not blaspheme others. Means Prabhupada is telling here, blaspheming others means we should not unnecessarily criticizing the other religions. Why? Because according to modes of nature, Krishna created different types of people. So sometimes they will follow that. But by criticizing, what will happen? Your mind will be agitated. So that is not good for you. So give chance and opportunity to hear about this Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. By that slowly hearing, they will actually, the other what they are following, the religions, they will slowly come out from this path, because they don't know proper what is real thing actually. That's why Prabhupada, this is discussion Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and morning and evening the classes why he kept here, so that it is an opportunity to people come and sit and hear. That is the opportunity Prabhupada is gave here. So that is wonderful opportunity. I saw many times in before that Corona 2018, many people came, devotees actually from Sunday feast class actually. Now we stop at Sunday feast class. I don't know why is our authorities stop at Sunday feast class. Many people, they came just for prasadam, but slowly they become devotees. The Sunday feast class and evening Bhagavad Gita class also they stopped. I don't know why it stopped. Bhagavad Gita class evening, that is not there. Prabhupada intended actually Sunday feast class, because many people holiday they just come at least per bhajan and they take prasadam, and this little bit hearing about Krishna, they will become pious. So next time they will come again and again. So all over the world, Prabhupada actually kept the Sunday actually this feast class. This is a proper temple, but I don't know why there no Sunday feast class. Prabhupada is telling actually this is a temple is meant for hearing, but people doesn't know. They come, just come, they take darshan. But in our temple only there is, in ISKCON temples only we have this cult actually, this culture hearing about Shastras and Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. There is no other temples, there is no that culture. That's why people comes, they coconut that they break the coconut and they do little puja, then go. That's all. And they sit and discuss all the material things. Yeah. Here also people comes, they comes and they discuss if nothing is there. That's why you kept Hare Krishna mantra, every day, all day. Why? So that people don't chit chat here actual unnecessary speaks. So this is how, means it is temple, means it is actually like a training. This temple is training to everyone that opportunity to remembering Krishna. So we have to give that opportunity. Otherwise people without hearing one cannot understand. Till that time you will be doing the ritualistic activities. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning, is more and more actually one should hear more and more, so that your misconception will change, and they will become a devotees. Unnecessary criticizing other religions, there is unnecessary waste of time. Prabhupada is telling actually here. So that is one thing. And a devotee should lead very simple life and not be disturbed other dwelling opposite elements. To practice spiritual life, it is really required very simple life. Without simple life, our life already become very complicated, because that modern education, modern facilities and gadgets, this become more and more complicated. So how can become a simple? Simple means you should be very away from all these technologies, everything actually, and material association. With all these things, our life should be very simple, so that we can get opportunity to practice a spiritual life. And nowadays the working hours also it's increased 9 or 12 hours, 15 hours. So where is the opportunity to get the practice of spiritual life? It is very difficult nowadays. So we cannot change our situation, but we have to change some our lifestyle actually, so that we can get some opportunity to practice spiritual life. The simple life means your mind should be very simple, not thinking so much per material life, and reading so many books, and thinking information about the world. These are all things are not necessary for this actually. The more you simple, the more acquired that information, everything, so the mind will be focused. Otherwise, so many thinkings in mind will go on, then you cannot focus on the spiritual life. So that is what means we should be, our life should be very simple, uh, and we should not acquire many things. Whatever necessity is required for our sustaining of body, we should require, that's all, not necessary for many things. So by that actually we can live the simple, and for all this actually we should tolerate, we should have learn to tolerate them. That's why Prabhupada is telling Arjuna, you should tolerate for everything, because Arjuna is so disturbed. The situation he has, that he has to kill the armies and enemies, and he has to fight. He is thinking is a spiritual master, and Krishna is telling, tolerate all the situations. So tolerate means titikshava karunika surida sarvadevino ajata satru shantava sadhava sadhubhusana, means the first quality, we should tolerate so many things. In material world there's so much complications, so much complications in material world. So the situation, it is such a way, our mind will simply it goes in different ways. So okay, so we should tolerate, because what is we need that important, we should give focus on that, not other things is, because other things is, other people are there, anyhow they can take that, but what is our given services, and whatever that rules given, we should focus on that, so that our mind will goes not goes here and there. So, and the situations will come, we should tolerate. If you have proper guidance, superiors, so that we can tell the whatever hesitations and difficulties comes, so that they will solve the problems. So by that we can be very simple, we can be live very simple, we can tolerate. So tolerance is required, but is because in such a situation in the Kali Yuga, we need to practice spiritual life also. There is so much difficulties are there. So what shall we can do? We can do be in the association of a devotees, so that we can give up all these difficulties, so that devotees are, they 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 will help us to practice our devotion services. By that actually we can tolerate. So this is how Prabhupada is telling this, this verse, means to advance in spiritual life, these qualities is must. Without these qualities we cannot advance spiritual life. Uh, so we have to check our how I am becoming more and more humble, how I'm more and more tolerant actually. To become humble, we can see the practicalisms. Rising from early in the morning till go to the bed, we can be think of so much, how to become humble. Like I'm just thinking, rising early in morning means my spiritual master told to attend Mangalarti, so that I have to rise early. So that is submission. That it is, means I am become humble, so that my spiritual master, I have to please my spiritual master, so that I can rise in the morning. So easy. And attending Mangalarti and then chanting japa. Chanting japa means what is that? No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Trinada Pisune Chena Tarori Pasaisuna Amani Namanadana Kirtana. The more and more become humble, tolerant, and respect everyone, not expect return from anyone. That will give actually, it's a chanting with pure chanting. So by that we can become humble. Means we should learn every minute the Krishna conscious opportunity to become develop the qualities. This to develop qualities, it is eternal occupation for everyone. There is no other occupations, because every opportunity it is gives to how to see in my Krishna consciousness in this way. So there is so much opportunities there. So from rising early in the morning, from till night actually. And the Bhagavatam class, there Bhagavatam class, submissively we should hear, we should respect the speakers, we should submissively hear, and we should eager to learn what that qualities is given in this. So in this also we can develop these qualities. And dealing others should be very happily and very peacefully. We should not disturb others. We should give Krishna consciousness by dealing with others with respectfully, whatever the stage they have. So in every opportunity, it is such a opportunity is given to develop qualities in this way, we can develop quality. This Krishna consciousness is very nice opportunity for the people to develop all the qualities. So this is way, so we should practice spiritual life and we can advance spiritual life. So this is verse. So I'm just thinking today there is Advaita Acharya appearance day. This we should discuss a little bit whatever I know this, because it is to discuss, to glorify the acharyas, so will become purified our heart. So Advaita Acharya, it is very important principle in our life, because of Advaita Acharya mercy, today we are able to practice Krishna consciousness movement. There is no other way, isn't it? So Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Is uh, so he is actually he is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is two prominent disciples. One is Ishwar Puri and Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya, um, uh, he just worshipped Krishna with Tulsi at the bank of the Ganges for the to appear the Lord. Why? Because that time actually this Navadvip Dham, it is the hub of the universe. Means all the scholars, all the pandits, they are in Navadvip Dham. So, but that time what will happen before coming Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? This actually Brahmanas and all the scholars actually they are misdirected people and they are not able to following the Vedic principles, and they are not very strict about this actually. So Advaita Acharya is not able to tolerate it. How? Even the people anyhow they are fallen. But what to speak of if the Brahmanas and those who are scholars, if they will know, they have to guide this society. If they are not properly practicing, then who will protect them? So this is Advaita Acharya is thinking so much, and is compassionate to the fallen souls, because Kali Yuga generally people are very not interested in spiritual life. And above that, actually, those who are very interested and learned people, and they are debating this all the Vedic principles, so they are not following. So by that time, actually, that Advaita Acharya, he very deeply prayed, and he loudly and voice, and he prayed for the Lord. Please, my dear Lord, please come and protect and deliver this fallen souls. There is no other way except you come. So that very deep way, actually, Advaita Acharya, he worshipped Tulsi with Saligram Shila, so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he thought that Advaita Acharya actually is my spiritual master, because he only brought here. But Advaita Acharya never thought like that he is my spiritual master. He's thinking always, I am the servant of Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu, they both are always thinking, actually, we are the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is means that is very difficult to understand. That is there is Pancharatrika Vidhi and transcendental Bhagavad Dharma. Pancharatrika Vidhi reveals rules and regulations. One follow, he will become so advanced spiritual life. That is just now we are in. So Advaita Acharya, he came to propagate devotion service. Even though he is incarnation of Mahavishnu, but he came that propagates the devotion service, Krishna consciousness. So for that, Advaita Acharya came here. So this Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu always thinks us we are the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to give mercy. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he propagated the Sankirtana movement. So in Kali Yuga, that is written, no, Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam Sango Pangosra Parsnam Yajnai Sankirtana Prayaru Yajantei Sumedasaha. Means there is no other way in Krishna, in Kali Yuga. There is only Sankirtana movement, and those very intelligent people, they will take part in this Sankirtana movement, and they will spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here, and he he propagate the cult of devotional service to all over the world. It is only the Advaita Acharya mercy. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned the Advaita Acharya actually is Mahavishnu. He is created so many universes and he is maintaining that universes. He is like Krishna. But his position is different. He came for only for to propagate the devotion service. That is what the Advaita Acharya actually, that is main occupation. That is Chaitanya Charitamrita it told. And so Advaita Acharya, he once what happened, that is one devotee, that is I know I forgot his name. He wrote one letter, that is the Advaita Acharya Kamalakanta Viswas, is it? Kamalakanta Viswas. He wrote one letter that Advaita Acharya is debted 300 rupees for the Lord. So that letter went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw. So when he saw that letter, immediately he chastised like anything actually. Do you think the Supreme Personal Godhead is debted for 300 rupees that time? So he chastised like anything to Kamalkant Viswas actually. And that Kamalkant Viswas, and he came and told Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya told, you are so fortunate actually. The Lord actually, the Lord gave so mercy. He chastised. How can I get that opportunity to chastise like anything? So he planned one day. What is that? No. He planned to speak Katha, in the Bhagavad Katha, but in that actually he speaks Mayavad philosophy, Advaita Acharya. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this news. When he heard this, immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And in the stage only, he beaten like anything actually to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya actually is old. So Sitaran Thakur, and she went immediately and she told, what is it, Mahaprabhu, what are you doing? My husband would die. You came for that to spread Krishna consciousness and devotion services. Why you are beating like this anything? So immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, see, he brought here to cult, to propagate the devotion service, and he himself speaking the Mayavad philosophy. Then Advaita Acharya told, my dear Lord, I want your mercy. So I am searching what way I can get opportunity. So this is the one way opportunity to get your mercy. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu told like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very happy that. So this is, I remember the some incident actually. So we should be grateful that how, because today Advaita Acharya, we should pray for the Advaita Acharya to give some mercy so that I can attach to the Sankirtana Yajna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, lotus feet, and his followers, so that in this age, such a fallen age, still there is an opportunity to render some service to Krishna, and there is a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. That's the only mercy. So we should pray today that is opportunity is given. Yes. Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भागवतं की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अद्वैत आचार्य आविर्भाव दिनोत्सव महोत्सव की जय। हरे कृष्ण।